This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so far we completed the four master datas: material, vendor, and info recording source list. And what we observed remaining, so what we discussed, the remaining three master datas. The remaining three master datas, there is condition records. The condition records, we have a topic called pricing procedure, and batch master we have batch management, and service master we have service procurement. So these three master datas during the process we need to cover. So next, as you know, initial classes we discussed the completely data is going to classify into three types: the org data, which is called organization data. The second one is master data. Third one is transition data. So today we need to discuss about the transition data. And one important already you know, if I want to define the master data in the system, okay. So here organization data should be pre-critical. The organization data should be pre-critical. If I want to define, if I want to do any transition data, then organization data and master data should be pre-critical in the system. If it is empty box, we cannot create master data. If organization data is available, if master data is not available, then I cannot perform the transition data. Okay. In SAP, the transaction are going to classify into three type of transaction data. One is the purchase related transaction data. The second one is inventory related transaction data, and third one invoice related transaction data. So the transaction data are three types: purchase related transaction data, inventory, and invoice. You know, purchase related transaction data. So generally we are creating day to day, the users is going to create some purchase regulations that you will come to know what is purchase regulation, purchase orders, contract, schedule. So the purchasing documents which will go to the vendors here. So this is called purchase related transaction data. Inventory related transaction means it stores and warehouse level. So completely you need to manage the materials. So day to day I'm receiving the materials from the different vendors, okay, goods issuing internally or externally to the cost centers, customers, and also we need to move some stock transfers from one store to another store. These are all inventory related transaction data. What is invoice related transaction data? Invoice related transaction data means once you will receive the stock from the vendor will give us invoice copy, but again in our SAP system we need to prepare the invoice here. So these are all three type of transaction data we observe here. But compared to all that, so not only the purchase, inventory, invoice, for all the transaction data. So what is the key factor? So if you recall, so when we started material master, we observed the material type is the main control. Means there are so many parameters going to control by the material type. The same way, if you go to account vendor master, account group is the key function here. Account group is going to control so many parameters. The same way, if you come to the transaction data, the document type is going to control so many parameters in the transaction. Without document type, so you cannot able to prepare any one transaction data. Either if you want to prepare any purchase related or inventory invoice, document type plays a vital role here. So the SAP has given some standard document types here. The SAP has given some standard documents here. So the same like we discussed. So whenever we observe, when you are going to map from non-SAP ERP to SAP, okay, means the business when you are going to map as a consultant, as a function consultant, so whether we are able to map with the standard SAP settings or not here. So if you are able to map with the standard SAP settings, okay, well and good. Or else you need to create a, okay, so you need to copy from the relevant one, you need to create new one here. The same way document types also. So in standard SAP you need to observe whether you are able to map the business with the standard document types. If you are not able to map the standard document types, we need to create. The SAP is not going to stop. My business requirement, I need to create new document type. Yes, you can able to create new document type also. Okay. Now, tell me what are the parameters going to control by the document type. Okay. The document type control parameters are number assignment here. Number assignment is going to control it. So the client to client here, the client people will inform you. So whenever we are creating some purchasing transactions or inventory transactions, we require this number ranges. We want some 10 character 6 number range or 8 character 6. They will give you freely requirement. So based on your client requirement, you need to control you need to maintain the number assignment. But it is possible internal or external. So both ways it is possible. But 100% every client will go internal only, not in external, but in SAP it is possible. Okay, internal, external. So number assignment is going to control by the document type. The second one, the field selection here. The field selection is also going to control by the document type. Okay, what is the other one? Field selection. So what is the field selection here? A particular field want required entry. So we observed material master, vendor master. Some fields are required entries, some fields are optional entries. So some fields are okay, display entries or suppress or IDM. The same way the SAP has given some standard field selection key, but based on the document type. So if you do, you can changes, and this field selection key you need to send to the document type. So this field selection also client to client you can control your field selection key. And third one, so this is most important for only item category. Okay, the item category. So which item category I need to allow here? Which item category I need to allow? So based on this is only for purchasing. So this item category. So sometimes my business for my document type, I don't want this item category. I want this item category based on the document type. These are the, apart from this we have a couple of other parameters will be there, we'll discuss. Okay, so this is about transaction data, classified into 3 types of transaction data, and document type. The standard SAP has given document types. If business requires, we can create new document type, and these are document type control parameters. Now let us see. Okay, so if you go to purchasing here, so how many methods of purchasing will be there? How many methods? How many methods of purchasing? So methods of purchasing. So how many methods of purchasing is there? There are 2 methods here. So one is the methods of purchasing. 2 methods of purchasing will be there. One is first one is internal here. One is internal. Second one is external. Could you tell me anybody what is internal? What is external? Lakshmi, Yamuna, SSV. What is internal purchasing method is there? What is external? Do you have
From
any idea?
one entity to other, I mean inside, from one factory to other factory of the same
Ah,
company.
excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Internal means, so here suppose now I'll give one example. Okay, Yashish, you're right. Okay. Uh, See here I have 2 plants, 2 manufacturing units will be there. One is in Chennai, one is in Bangalore. Okay. The Chennai people is required. The Chennai manufacturing unit is required. So they will procure the metal from Bangalore. So it's called internal. Internal means from one plant to another plant within the company portfolio. So already I have other plant, other unit, some material is there. Why should I procure from externally from the vendor? It's called internal procurement. So again, going forward, we have STO process will be there. What is external procurement? External method here. External method means if the material is procuring from externally from vendor, the vendor may be a domestic vendor or vendor may be an import vendor. So there are 2 methods of procurement. Okay, so means always you need to keep in mind. So we have 2 methods of procurement. One is internal, and second one is external. Internal, however, we have MMS integration. Internal procurement also we have that. External procurement also we have so many external procurements will be there. We will procure the materials from the vendors. The same way, we have 2 types of purchase documents will be there. We have 2 types of purchase documents will be there. So now tell me what are the 2 types of purchase documents? One is internal purchase document. The second one is external purchase document. So we have internal purchase document will be there and external purchase document. Okay, the SAP purchasing documents are classified into 2 types here. One is internal purchase document, second one is external purchase document. Internal purchase document means purchase requisition is the internal purchase document. The purchase requisition is the internal purchase document. So means it's called purchase requisition (PR). In short term, we'll call it a PR. Okay, it is called as a purchase requisition. Purchase. So means we have only one purchasing document is internal purchase document. So it's called a PR, purchase requisition. So what is the transition code to create PR? ME51. This we'll discuss in detail. Okay, this is about. So only one purchasing document in SAP is internal purchasing document. So what are the external purchasing documents here? The external purchasing documents are okay. So RFQ means request for quotation. PO purchase order. We are creating some contracts, external purchase document. I am creating scheduling. These are all external purchase documents here. So RFQ, request for quotation, purchase order, contracts, schedule agreement. These are all external purchase documents here. Now tell me why we are calling this purchase request internal purchase document, and why we are calling all this request for quotation, purchase order, contract, scheduling order external purchase documents here. Okay, so the reason is see here, the purchase requisition is only one document which will not reveal to the vendor. You know, for any company, I mean to say any plant, we have different departments: purchase, sales, production, quality, HR, plant maintenance, accounting. We have so many departments. So any department or any user required any kind of materials, so directly they, so in the company, in every company, okay, every company they will give you authorization. The user can able to create a PR. So there is no restriction. Anybody can able to create a PR. So in domain companies, okay, so here non-SAP companies, what we so what they will say, indent document. Indent means requirement. Okay, in a small industries they will give you one like a yellow slip also. We require this material and all manually. So this is, but in SAP we will call it the purchase requisition. The purchase requisition can able to create any user department, any user, so they can express which material they required, when they required, for which store required, what is the delivery, all the details we will mention the purchase requisition, the user. Finally, we go to the purchase department. That's what it is called. So it is not revealing to the vendor. It is not revealing to the vendor. So it is not transmitting to the vendor. So with the internal purpose. Next, these purchasing documents, RFQ, PO. So these documents it has to transmit to the vendor. It has to go to the vendor, either printout or fax. So how it will transmit? Some vendors we need to forward in printout. Some vendors we need to forward in fax. Some vendors we need to forward in mail. That's why this called purchasing documents or external purchasing documents. Okay. So this is also two methods of procurement and two types of purchasing documents here. The same flow. Now if you see here, so if I procure any material, if I am procuring any material, the material is having two directions here. Either the material has to go for the stock purpose, the user will receive the stock. Okay, user will receive the material. The inventory people they will receive the material. So the material is having two directions. Either it has to go for the stock purpose. Stock purpose means the user will go and he will keep inside the stores or warehouses. It's called stock purpose. But when you will use, we don't know. Next week I am going to use, or tomorrow I am going to use, or next month I am going to use. So in future I am going to use this material. So, but timely, as of now I am going to keep the stock here. But sometimes the material, so some materials, okay, we have non-stock here. What is this non-stock here? Non-stock means the material I am receiving, but I'm not going to keep the stock. So what I am doing, the user straight away is issuing for production, for consumption, cost under consumption. So this is called non-stock. So the material is having two directions. When you procure, when you receive, either the user need to keep the material in the stores for stock purpose, or some materials we need to use directly consumption. Non-stock or direct consumption, both are same. Okay. Now coming to the subject, if you are procuring the material for the stock purpose, so we need to enter the suitable item category in the system. We need to enter suitable item category in the system. If the material is procured for the stock purpose, we need to enter suitable item category in the system. If the material is procuring for a consumption purpose or non-stock purpose, so suitable account assignment category we need to enter the system. Suitable account assignment category we need to enter the system. If the material is procuring for the stock purpose, I need to enter the item category. If the material is procuring for a consumption purpose, I need to enter the suitable item category. I need to enter the system. So stock purpose means item category. Non-stock purpose means, okay, so account assignment category. Now what is item category? Indirectly also you can say. So in the purchase documents, if user is selected any item category, means it is for stock purpose procurement. In purchase document, if user is selecting account assignment category, means non-stock purpose. Okay. Now let us, okay, I will show you in the system where exactly this item categories and account assignment. That is, we'll discuss about only item category. We'll discuss about only item category. So what is the navigation path here? Okay, let me start the server item category. Go to login tab. Go to login. I think this is our server one. Yeah, my server one, right? My server is different, right? Right. Okay. Now, so please observe item category. What is item category? Item category means if the material is procuring for the stock purpose, the user has to enter the suitable item category in the purchase document. Okay. The navigation path of the item category SPRO and SAP reference IMG, and go to materials management. SPRO, SAP reference IMG, materials management. In materials management, go to purchasing. In materials SPRO, SAP reference IMG, materials management. In materials management, purchasing. In purchasing, okay, where I need to go? I need to go to define external. So in purchasing, where I need to go? Define external representation of item. Define external representation of item. So SPRO, reference IMG, materials management. In materials management, purchasing. In purchasing, so you need to go to define external representation of item categories. Okay. Now the most of interest, they'll ask this question. Please try to understand here. See here, these are the different item categories there. So this is the internal representation element. This is the external representation element. This is the internal representation element. This is the external representation element. This is the text here. Okay. So in the interview, what they will ask, can I able to create new item category? In the interest, they will ask you. Why they are asking? Because they want to know how much command you have on the subject here. See here, now what exactly your answer? We should say we are not able to create new item category system. Not only here SAP, wherever you will not find any new entries button here. Did you find any new entries button? No. So you will not find new entries button or copy as button. If these two buttons is not there in the screen, means which is purely system dependent. We cannot create new. So you will not find any new entries button or copy as button. So it is purely system dependent. So we cannot create new item category in the system. If business requires, we can change external representation element and text also you can able to change, not internal here. But globally, nobody is not going to change it. Okay. Now let me open any purchase document. Let me open some purchase order here. Okay. So go to emit. So just I am showing where you will see item categories in the purchasing document. If I go to ME21, so this is a purchasing document. Here you can see item category. The first one is the account estimate category. The second one is the item category. So if I open this item category, you can able to see these are all different item categories in the system. Standard, limit, consignment. These are all different item categories in the system. Okay. So your item category represents the way of procurement, and every purchase document. If I go to any other purchase document, is also you'll find item categories and account estimate categories. The navigation path, the SPRO, IMG, materials management, purchasing. Under the purchasing, we have different representation of item categories, and item categories we cannot create new. Is purely system dependent here. Okay. Now, if I go to any one item category, if you go to details button, we are not able to change. If I want to change also, it is completely gray mode here. So this is what we need to understand about the item categories here. Okay. The item categories are purely system dependent. We cannot create new. Okay. So this item categories. Okay. So here represents the way of procurement. Every purchase document you will find item categories. Okay. So now, what about account estimate categories? What is the navigation for? What we
Sir,
observe account estimate category? Yeah, tell me. Yeah, Yamuna, tell me.
I have a question. Can technical people enter new item categories, or it is same for everyone?
Okay, good question. See here, as of now, so if you want, see here, with the help of the technical people, if you want to create new item category, we can able to create here. Okay, because they need to change the standard program and all. But some fields are inbuilt here. This is actually, as per globally, these are item categories enough here. The requirement is not coming globally. These many number of products here. Okay.
Okay.
So this is enough item categories in the system here. As of now, there is no requirement because there is no block till new item category is required for any business here. Well, globally, 80% clients are already captured this SAP. Okay, so I don't think so. So it is required too. But yes, I understood your question. If they want new item category, but actually this has to provide by the SAP if they want to create it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So here now let us see. We'll discuss about account assignment. Account assignment category. So you can write navigation path save. In above the item categories only you will find account assignment categories. So the navigation path you can write down. So where we can reach the account assignment category in the system, navigation path will be remain same. The navigation path will be remain same. Account assignment categories here. So SPRO IMG, materials management, purchasing. In purchasing, you need to go to account assignment. So here define external implementation of item categories, right? Above account assignment. In account assignment, maintain account assignment categories. In account assignment, maintain account assignment categories. These are all different account assignment categories there. And simple here. So if you go to any purchase document, if I come to here, this is the PO. So you will find so all the account assignment categories here. Here you will find so all the account assignment categories, right? So these many account assignment categories. Okay. So now coming to the account assignment category, what we observed, where we will find new entries button, copy as button is there, we can able to create. If business requires, we can able to create here. Okay. So item category is a purely system dependent, but account assignment category, if business requires, okay, without help of any technical people, simply you can create a new account assignment category system and you can change the external representation element, okay, and you can do some changes also. Now previously if you selected account assignment item category, completely gray mode here. If you go to account assignment category, if I go to details button, I can see enable mode. So if you want, you can able to change, but please don't change because all these are SAP settings here. Okay. So if you want, you can create new account assignment category, you can change. That is going to impact the business here. Okay. Let us just observe here. So these are different account assignment categories. So account assignment category, we have some couple of control parameters, whether the goods receipt is possible or not, invoice is required or not, the field selection also, which field is mandatory to display. So this is about these are the basics you need to understand. So these are the basics once we'll cover. Now before going to straight away run the transaction data, so now you understood like what is the types of purchasings, what are the methods of purchasing, what is internal purchase documents, what is external purchase document, so what is item category, means stock purpose, and what is non-stock purpose, so we discussed here. Okay. So with this all these basics, actually we need to start the business process procedure. So now we are eligible to run the business process procedure. So what is the first business process procedure? Okay. Today we need to start the business process procedure one. Like that in our training system. Okay. So we need to discuss the different business process procedures. Altogether we have some 10 to 11 business process procedures in there. Okay. But whenever you go for a new company, the company may not use all the business process procedures, but we need to identify what are the business process procedures they are using. Now tell me what is my first business process procedure. The first one is the basic cycle. Basic cycle, or which is also called as a P2P process. P2P process means procure to pay process, or also standard procurement process. Everything is same here. The basic cycle or P2P process or procure to pay process. Okay, so it remains same. Standard procurement process, all are same here. Okay. So most of the interest they'll ask you the flow. Could you explain? So you are keeping some 1 year or 0 to 1 year. So definitely they will check what is the flow of the P2P process here. They'll ask you how you are going to express the flow. The basic cycle or P2P process. Now tell me what are the steps you are going to involve. The steps here. The steps actually, the first step here. So create a purchase requisition in ME51 and transaction code. Purchase requisition need to be created in ME51 and transaction code. This is internal purchase document. We'll give all the users, they can able to create PR. Just now we discussed here. So generally what the user will mention at the time of purchase requisition, which materials they required, so how much quantity they required, for which plant they required, for which store location they required. Okay, so all this the user department they will mention. The purchase requisition is internal purchase document. They will mention the purchase requisition. The user will mention. Suppose I am the user. So I'm working in some particular department, some XYZ department in plant. So I will create a PR and I'll mention what are the materials. I require this material X, okay, this much of quantity for this plant, this store. So this is a delivery. All the details will be mentioned by the user in the purchase relation. So where it will go, it will go to the purchasing department. So what the purchasing department people will do? So if they know the vendor, if they know the vendor, directly they will create a PO. Directly they will create a PO. Means previously you have any contracts is created with this material, directly they will convert to purchase order. If they don't know the vendor, what they will do? They will create a RFQ. RFQ will be created in which transaction code here? In ME41 transaction code with reference to PR. So what is RFQ? RFQ means request for quotation. It will go to the multiple vendors, vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3, different vendors here. So I am creating RFQ, request for quotation with reference to PR. So what is mean by request for quotation? Request for quotation means we are requesting. So here, if you know the vendor directly, so if you don't know the vendor, I am requesting 2 to 3 vendors here. So this is the external purchase document. It has to transmit to the vendor here. So vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. Okay, so it will go to the different vendors. So once it will go at the time of RFQ itself, will give the quotation deadline. Example, today is 28th September. Okay, I require the material on 12th October here. So I will give you 1 day time or 2 day time to the vendors. They need to give the quotation details to me here, to the company here. So whenever we are receiving the quotation details from the different vendors, so we need to maintain the quotations here. So all the vendors will not give the same price. So all the vendors will not dispatch the same day. So all the vendors will not give the same discount. So all the details we need to capture. So I am receiving the printout vendor to vendor. Some vendors I will receive in mail. So once I will receive the details from the different vendors, so what I need to do? I need to maintain the quotation. Maintain the quotation. Maintain the quotations in ME47 transition period. So what exactly when you maintain the quotations, because they are giving like a printout that is in their format, but in my SAP system I need to maintain the quotations here. So what exactly you will find the quotation details here? Vendor details here. Okay, so vendor to vendors. So what is the price they are giving? What is the discount? So all the details I need to capture vendor details here. But once I will receive all the details from the vendors here, so what I need to do? I need to compare the quotations here. I need to compare the quotations here. Quotations in ME 14 terms. So when you compare the quotations in ME49 transaction code, when you compare the quotations in ME49 transaction code, the system will give you best quotation here. But in SAP system, okay, which vendor is giving the least price, the best quotation here. Which vendor is giving the least price, the best quotation here. So, but apart from the price, so sometimes we require in emergency delivery date will give the high priority. Even the vendor charging more price also, we are ready to pay because immediately you require the material. So that time delivery date. Sometimes both the vendors are giving the same price. Okay, I'll check the quality. So finally, when you are comparing the quotations, here the user will take the final decision. Okay, but most of the time we'll go for the which vendor is giving the least price, the best quotation. But apart from the price, we have some delivery date, quantity, quality. The other parameters also will be there. Okay, so now after comparing the quotations, we need to create a legal document here. What is that legal document? We need to create a purchase order. We need to create a purchase order. The purchase order is a legal document here. It is IS document. Okay, the purchase order here, all the data will be integrated. Okay, the purchase order where exactly we are going to create in ME21 transition code. The purchase order can be created in ME21 transition code with reference to RFQ. With reference to RFQ. With reference to RFQ. Okay, so but going forward, see, you can able to create purchase order in different ways, not only with reference to PR, not only with reference to RFQ. We have so many ways. Today we will observe how to create PO with reference to RFQ example. Okay, but going forward, so you can, with reference to PR also you can able to create. With reference to contract also you can able to create, means outline agreement. With reference to old PO also you can able to create the PO here, and without any reference also you can. What is a legal document? So all your master data and transaction data will be integrated with the purchase order. So we need to observe. So most of the fields you need to understand the POJ. So this is about the complete. So every business process procedure is going to divide into three categories. The first one is the purchasing part. The second one is inventory. Okay. So once the PO will go to the vendors, whenever vendor company physically dispatch the goods will come to your stores. Your inventory management will be started. So how you will confirm here? Once the user will receive the material, you will enter the goods receipt here in Migo transaction. The goods receipt will be entered in the Migo. Okay. The Migo. So whenever you perform, so the Migo is the enjoy transaction. The Migo is the enjoy transaction. This is the transaction code here. Why we are saying the enjoy transaction? Because in Migo you can perform all the inventory transactions. So you can do day to day, you can receive the goods, you can issue the goods. But if you go to older versions, before 4.7 versions, for goods receipt one transaction is there, for goods issue one transaction is there, for doing stock transfers. But after 4.7 version, they merged all the transaction code and they created a new transaction, that is Migo. So you can perform all the inventories in Migo, only one transaction. They merged here in Migo transaction. So here, once you receive the goods in Migo transaction, okay, so some changes will be happened here. This is most important. It's called results of the goods movement. So as a consultant, you need to focus. So what are the changes is happened here? So this is called results of the goods movement. Results of the goods movement. So most of the interviews they'll ask you what is the results, what are the changes that happened once you perform the goods. The system is going to generate the material document. The material document accounting documents will be generated. Total stock, total value fields will be updated, and material master records will be updated. Okay, the purchase order history new tab will be generated automatically. So this table is going to store everything. So it is most important. But the final step, 7th step here. So here, what is the 7th step here? So along with the goods, the vendors will give us soft copy or hard copy. They will provide the invoice for us, the billing. So we need to receive the invoice, and in our SAP system, we need to prepare the invoice in MIRO. But we are into purchasing. We will not pay to the vendor. But who is going to pay? Our finance department. They are going to pay to the vendor. The board. So now previously we are completely empty. So now we have a set up organization that is there. Means how to define the plant and how to copy the plant store locations. So all the org data is filled in now. Company code, everything is there. So better. So my sincere suggestion to you people. So better you use 1000 only in your system. So you don't use. So you are using 1000 plant or 1000 company code, or if you are creating some 1 2 3 4 or some okay SMD or something with a numeric or alphanumeric, anything is remains same. But best run company code is 1000. Okay, so to skip all the financial related, it is not required as consultant. So here you no need to worry about the finance related finance related errors. So I don't want to face much more errors. Better you go for 1000. The process will be remain same. So you should use 1000 company code, and under 1000 company code we have two plants will be 1011. That is enough here. Okay. So if you create a new company code, so against your company code, you need to do some settings here. So you can reach me. I'll explain to you what are the settings need to be if you are facing issue. Well, today on WhatsApp. So if you are running, so if you are creating the up to business procedures are okay. But once you will start the business procedures, we are getting some issues. We are not able to post and all. Okay. Let us see. So now org data, mass data also basic mass data, and the basic transaction data also we discussed here. So not today, because today Rajesh government number both are not available. So no problem. However, the time will not sufficient. So tomorrow we'll start the business process. Okay, so we'll start from steps here. The steps will perform. But one more important thing here, for each and every business process, so we'll prepare our own master data. So we'll prepare our. So we'll create our own materials. So why? Because already in the server I have materials vendors will be there. But why should I take? Because for our better understanding purpose, each and every business process will prepare instantly our master data. Then easily you can able to understand it. So in tomorrow's system, I'll create at least one material once again. I have some couple of vendors there. Even the tomorrow once again I'll show you how to create a vendor. Then I'll start my step 1. I'll create a PR and I'll create RFQ, and the RFQ I'll give to three vendors here, or 2 vendors, or more than 2 is enough, 3 is enough here. The 3 vendors I'll give the quotation, and I'll show you how the quotation details will receive from the vendor company. We need to maintain the quotation, compare the quotation. The system will give you best vendor as per the quotation, and I will give the order to the vendor. and I'll receive the goods and I'll perform the goods receipt and I'll prepare the invoice also. So every business partner procedure. So if you understand this first business process procedure, basic cycle or standard procurement process, remain everything, some changes. So business process to business process, some changes will be. So we need to record it. It's about today's session. Lakshmi and Yamuna, Yashasvi. So tomorrow we'll meet with the same time, same.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all of you.